obviously, out of everyone here, I would say that just by look swats, I think you and maybe Rick are probably the only two that would probably be the true demographic for these type of films. That's not a shot at anyone, Rick.
I'm square.
So what is your opinions here on the whole situation between GCA family trying to make family friendly content and essentially people bailing from Hallmark because they chose to go with the woke crowd a few years ago?
Well, I think it's understandable. There's a market for it. And, um, like the guy was saying, like there are people that just they want the family friendliness that they can watch these shows with their kids around and their family members around. And I mean, a lot of people visit for holidays. So I don't know. I don't watch Hallmark that much.
Well,
Yeah.
But
I
even
can
my
actually answer
my
this
in-laws
one.
have it on during holidays, so they'll probably switch to this though.
I can actually answer this because my mom is a huge Hallmark addict. She loves the Christmas movies on there, and she every time there's like a Christmas movie marathon on there, and it's funny because my family's Jewish, so it makes it even like weirder. Like every time I would go home for the holidays, she'd always have it on. She has all these Hallmark movies saved on the DVR, and that's what she likes to watch. She doesn't like the violent stuff like my stepdad does. So like she'll just put on a Christmas movie and just relax. She doesn't like any of the newer shows that are on TV nowadays.
Yeah.
Well,
And I will say, like, there is this debate about like movies in general, like where should they reflect the culture or should they influence the culture? And the answer is both, because this is exactly what they do. It's a dialectic thing. There's no reason that it's either or. And a lot of people just, they want that promise of a story to take them away and then bring them back. And simple stories sometimes work, and they're very charming at times with those simple wish fulfillment sort of escapism. Yeah.
all right. Well, I have seen exactly 2 Hallmark movies. Neither of them Christmas, curiously enough. I saw one with with the now Duchess of Sussex as one of the stars, and another one because the guy had the same last name, so I thought, oh, that's probably my cousin. We're not related, but yeah, I don't. I'm not the target audience because I can't sit through those. I don't think I could sit through them. And I know they have the Christmas marathons, and I think maybe once or twice they've done like a Hanukkah movie or thrown in a Hanukkah. I mean, most of these involve the woman falling in love with with the guy. I mean, they're very simple stories, and I don't know. I don't take away from people who like that sort of comfort. It's like comfort food. It's comfort food for people who like watching these simple romances that aren't very complicated. But I know Hallmark I think Hallmark was essentially pushed into this beyond the lesbian commercial, and I heard about that. They now have had movies that have featured some same sex secondary characters, or I mean gay characters, and now they're finally going to break down. And I think in one of them they had like an anthology where they had 3 stories, and one of them was a lesbian relationship. Now I think they're finally going to have a story, I guess one of those Hallmark movies that is going to involve two men. A guy is going to fall in love with another guy. It's going to be like the Hallmark version of Bros, in that there's not going to be an orgy scene. So
You would hope. You would hope.
yeah, the
Oh
Hallmark
my
movies.
God.
Yeah,
Is nothing sacred anymore?
no, I mean, honestly, the only time I'll hit the Hallmark Channel is if they have a Golden Girls, episode, and it's followed by Frasier, and then occasionally they'll have Reba. They'll show Reba as well. But a lot of the times, those little sweet Hallmark movies, um, I think they were pushed into it. I think there was a lot of pressure. In the same way that I think they had pressured Christian Mingle to have a same-sex same-sex section where a Christian male could find another Christian male to fall in love with. I don't know if they did that for the Muslim version, or because there is one, and there's, I think, there's a Jew date. I think I don't know if they did that for that, because you want an Orthodox Jewish man to fall in love with another Orthodox. Well, actually, I think there was a movie about that. But point is, yeah, I think they were pushed. Hallmark was pushed, and I think GAC is going to be kind of the counter to that. They had gotten criticized. Hallmark had already gotten criticized because they had featured too many white couples. They wanted more.
Yeah, well, it's not even. It wasn't even just that. They were just outright attacking like the fan base who watches Hallmark movies, which is usually white people in
Yeah,
the Midwest and in the South. So it's like, well, yeah, Hallmark caters to an audience that we don't like, so we need to essentially take over and destroy that fan base. And Hallmark folded like a lawn chair when that whole
yeah,
thing happened.
because
So,
because again, I'm not the target audience for Hallmark movies, and I accept that. I mean, this is, and I hope this doesn't come off as racist or sexist. It's not my intent. These Hallmark movies are primarily geared toward uh, white ladies, white women who like these kind of romances, and I see
Mhm.
nothing wrong with having the leads be black or Asian or Hispanic. I mean, they always the Hallmark movies, their Hispanic people, the Hispanic representation is always uh, Carlos and uh, the Peña Vegas. There's Carlos, the guy.
oh, Alex,
Yeah,
Alexa, and Carlos. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. They are the default Hispanic characters,
Hmm.
the default Hispanic leads in these Hallmark movies. So anytime I see them, I know, oh, it's probably the Latino night
Yeah.
in the Hallmark Channel.
And then who
Right.
knows? They might leave too. So
Well,
there's that.
they might only because they're very openly Christian. So I'll take their word for it that they're very devout. I think they get. I mean, the reason they star with each other is because they have a hard time kissing someone who's not their spouse on screen. So yeah, but I think that's the thing. They were put. Hallmark was pushed into it. They decided to go for it. I don't know if the upcoming nice version of Bros is going. The Hallmark version of Bros. I don't know if that's going to be a hit for them, and they're going to repeat it as often as they have done the one with the Duchess of Sussex. I think she did two of them, and that one was very insipid. And I thought, oh my gosh, why am I watching this? Oh, it's because
Yeah.
she's in it. Yeah, they were pushing to it. Let's see how GAC does with 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 their version. Cassie looks so utterly bored.
Well,
Like
let
Rob,
me let me ask.
Rob, like Rob's face when we talk about anime.
Oh yeah, exactly. But let me ask a couple of questions here before I let you guys wrap this one up. He said, "Do you think that the rise of GAC Ripperverse Daily Wire will be hope for an alternative, or do you think it's false hope?" I think that has to be the beginning. You can't just expect these handful of properties to, I guess, save all of entertainment. I mean, they have to be like the first of many if you want a true revolution. I mean, it's great what Ripperverse is doing. The Daily Wire is trying to create some movies with GCA Family. They're trying to do their own thing, but they have to be one of many. They can't just be the only one. So
They
that's why
have
I'll
to.
answer
They
that.
have to be good. They have to be good because I
Yeah.
have sat. I remember when was it Fahrenheit 9/11 came out, and then there were a lot of documentaries, that so-called documentaries, that were going to be counter to that. They were all pretty bad. They were all pretty bad, very poorly put together, and I sat through a lot of them, and I'm going, look, uh, it's good that you're trying, but you don't have any skill as a filmmaker to try to counter Michael Moore. In the same way, if the Daily Wire or all these other sites, if they come up with actual quality product, then slowly they'll start uh, kind of chipping away at what they see as a dominance. But if not, if they're still going to be bad, then nobody's going to watch, regardless of whether the message is something that they agree with. And wake up, Cassie. We're almost done with this section.
Well, let me go ahead and ask Cassie, and we'll wrap this one up. Cassie, have you ever seen a Hallmark movie in your life, and do you plan on watching one in the future?
It's on her
When it
calendar
comes
next Tuesday.
to Hallmark movies, I've never watched one unless it was by force. So yeah, and,
So you
I
have
this
watched
year-
one.
Maybe parts of it. It's one of those things where, you know, the mother, the one who this bullshit is made for, has this on while I'm trying to make and eat food in the kitchen, and I can clearly see the television from my seat because basically my peripheral view is straight at the TV. And then yes, I'm forced to watch this utter fucking cringe garbage as I'm eating my food, and it's terrible. It's the worst way to have to force yourself to get the nutrition that you need to survive.
Yeah, like pizza rolls for dinner.
well, you know, maybe when they have the Hallmark version of Bros, that will pique everyone's interest. Yes, there is a Hallmark version of Bros coming out.
That's something that nobody needs.
Or check out the one that has the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. I'm sure that will pique your interest.
Honestly, if I never see another Hallmark movie again, I could die happy because I live with my mom and my stepbrother, and they love Hallmark movies and shit. They're not woke; they actually are against that shit, but that's all they ever fucking watch, and it's literally turned me into a Grinch because they also love to watch their Christmas during the summer shit, and it's like, you guys wonder why I freaking hang out upstairs away from your asses. It's because you're always fucking watching Hallmark, and I cannot stand that shit. I literally, if I could, I would just down the road, but
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, it's the same fucking story. That's all it is. Woman has to do something, falls in love with guy from her past or something rather,
Or he's a
and that's
secret prince.
it. It's just that's it. You gotta somewhere.
You forgot the Christmas cookies. The Christmas cookies
Yeah,
too.
that too. And it's like, oh my god, spirit of Christmas. Yay, everybody, ho, ho, ho. Except for the women's, because that's derogatory. But anyway, it's just so freaking ridiculous. And I'm like, I have a Grinch shirt in my closet that I'm going to be wearing the entire month of December. I'll wash it every day if I have to. Because you guys had to be playing your damn Christmas movies all fucking year.
I will